What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is our Rise of the Forsaken campaign. This is Warhammer Fantasy 4th edition. I am, of course, your DM, your GM for the night, Mr. Jumbo Thick. I am joined by the full cast and crew of the Unfortunate Fellowship, Mr. Doobie209, Jumbo Smooth, and Pierce Galactic. At this point in the game, let's give one last brief description of your characters, with everyone except for Pierce Galactic, as unfortunately Bragadine Bonneau is met a grisly end. So let's start with Doobie.
Alright guys, what's going on? It's Doobie209, and I play Seamus McGreedy, the road warden that has turned into a bounty hunter general. He is 6'1", somewhere in the age of 24 to, I don't know, 55 maybe.
Age got weird for a while.
With jet black hair and pale gray eyes. And he does cool things like turning into a wraith and levitating and killing people and catching them on fire.
Yes.
It's really sweet. I love it so much.
Hello everyone, I am Jumbo Smooth and I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. Marius is a pit fighter legend, former miner. He's 5'8", he's got kind of this gray hair, blue eyes. His left eye is missing, scarred across, or at least it's a dead eye. Mm-hmm. He is a stocky lad, a peasant, family man, and he can also turn into a werewolf. So, yeah.
Mm. And then we have Pierce Galactic.
Pierce Galactic, friends. I did play the most beloved of all characters, Bragadine Bonneau. He was about 5'3". Now he's got dead eyes, pallid flesh. Mm-hmm. Many holes in them. Mm-hmm. Lack of blood. Mm-hmm. Probably starts to stink a little bit. Perhaps some flies and maggots. I'm hoping that perhaps there'll be like into Revenge of the Sith, the parade for Padme, like down the entire Naboo street. I'm hoping it's gonna be like that, but I have a feeling that he's just gonna be left in the mud.
We'll see. We will see.
We'll see.
Indeed. So, last we left off, the Fellowship had found themselves face to face with their final enemy, their final encounter, facing off against the Witch Hunter Cole, whom, along with a dark emissary and a higher vampire, very close to the party, Lady Emma, Bragadine's sister, were attempting to rip a hole in reality to pull free the Demon Lord, the first Prince of Chaos, Be'lakor. And they were almost successful. The Fellowship fought their way up this pyramid in the center of Albion to these standing stones, facing down their rivals. Seamus had to fight his own father that had been missing this entire time. No longer a man, some kind of mutated creature. Bragadine, forced to face his undead sister. And Marius, ironically, forced to face the Witch Hunter Cole in single combat several times. Between the three of you, you managed to dispatch the father of Seamus, Liam McCready. You also managed to grievously wound Lady Emma, as well as deal a deadly blow to the Witch Hunter Cole, but not before he felled the mighty Bragadine Bonneau, who, after shot with a coward's weapon, bled to death in the center of these standing stones atop this pyramid of the Old Ones. And he did, in fact, bleed to death. He is dead and cold as Maris reached down to embrace him, to pick him up. All of you grievously wounded. Well, Seamus not so much, but everyone else was pretty messed up. And it was in this moment that Teclis descended from the sky, having dealt with the giants. And as he was beginning to praise you for your victory, a dagger was drove deep into his back by what seemed to be the high elf contingent that had accompanied him all this time. Their helmets removed, you recognized them as dark elves. These assassins sent on who knows what mission. And that is where we're going to pick up. So, at this moment, Teclis shouts out, goes down to his knee. There's a dagger. Looks like there is black, thick fluid coating the entire blade. It is left in his back as the woman pushes him down to the ground. The former White Lion that tried to cleave Seamus and Creedy in half followed through with his stroke, and he is going to attempt to run towards the female, who, at this point, Marius Wolf, they are unbelievably fast. You remember that the elves had a grace about them that was almost supernatural. These are even more so than the ones you have seen thus far. And the woman, after stabbing Teclis, has made it all the way to the altar with the remnants of the Liber Praenuntis, the bloodied demonic book that just lays there, tattered. And she grabs a hold of it. She clutches a pendant around her neck and crushes it. One more thing happens before I will get to what you guys are going to do in this moment. It is also in this exact moment that you hear a screech tear through the air. And you see giant multicolored wings spanning out as a huge form, the demonic, almost vulture-like visage of Talacteel, with tattered remnants and wounds across his body, descending from the sky towards the top of the pyramid. You guys have a choice. As the pendant is crushed, the former portal that was opened to Bellicor before you closed it once again shimmers open. This time it looks like the tunnels of the Old Ones. And it looks like the Dark Elves are leaving you and moving into said tunnel. Talacteel is descending upon, it looks like he is moving towards Teclis. What would you guys like to do?
So the tunnel is opening?
There is a door shimmered into existence, and when you can see that it looks like the same opening, the same entrance to the chamber of the Old Ones, the tunnel that you've traveled through oh so many times. And you've never been able to see through it from the outside, but something about whatever magics these dark elves are using, they're ripping a hole through some kind of foul sorcery, and they are about to venture forth into these tunnels.
Is did they put this tunnel like I know I'm kind of like next to Braggadine, and I kind of envisioned like Seamus relatively close to me, I guess. Is
Yes.
that accurate?
Well, no. Seamus was actually at the edge of the pyramid.
Okay, that's right.
And you would be closer to... you'd be midway point between here and the pedestal. And then further past the pedestal is where the tunnel is opened up. It's a further 50 feet past that. And at this point, the two dark elves are moving in that direction. The man more behind the female, and they're talking to each other in their language, kind of yelling at each other, especially seeing the Lord of Change descending from the sky. Now, the Lord of Change is going to set down. Talactile is going to be setting down somewhere where Seamus is currently standing. In this moment, you guys have a chance to tell me what you're going to do, and this will determine the next couple of events that take place.
Is Teclis behind the
Teclis is next to you.
Oh, he's next to me? Okay.
He's within like maybe 5-10 feet of you. With a massive dagger sticking out of his back. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's trying to compose himself. He's not dead, but he is severely injured.
Okay. Does he give any kind of indication what, besides crippling pain?
This is your story. This isn't his. So you tell me what you guys would like to do.
Well, Marius's thought is he is going to try to Marius is going to he's going to, if allowable, can I transform into the wolf?
Sure.
And he is going to try to pick up the body of Braggadine and pick up Teclis.
Okay.
If possible. If Teclis is like, I kind of picture him like staggering.
Yeah, he's bad. He's real bad. He will need aid to move.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a 14th strength, so.
Oh, I know. You can easily do this, especially when you shift, you turn into a large creature, so you could easily pick up two men. Okay.
And I'm going to start charging towards the tunnel.
Okay. All right. So if that is your plan, Seamus, are you going to be going with this plan?
Yeah. Is the book still on the altar?
The woman has snatched the book, the female dark elf.
Okay. Then yes, I will be chasing after them.
All right. We are going to do a very brief couple of checks. So get ready for your skill challenge. I'm going to need athletics checks from Marius and Seamus.
All right.
12 out of 57.
Okay. And Marius?
Marius rolled a 18 out of 66.
Yes, you both easily begin to cover the ground. As you're moving forward, Talactile screaming out, "No! Now I will have my vengeance!" And he's reaching his hand out, and you can feel like pulls of energy from behind you. You see the two dark elves ahead of you glance over their shoulder, and the female dives inside the tunnel. And as she does, it looks like she's reaching up to to another amulet she had around her neck that was hidden beneath her armor. And she looks like she's moving to crush another amulet. And as she's moving her hands towards it, you can see the look on the male dark elf's eyes. Marius, you can kind of speak a little bit of their language. You can get basics. You spend enough time around the elves. You can hear him, "You bitch!" and he is diving as best he can. And as this happens, I need both you and Seamus to give me a real quick, let's call this would be one last athletics test to see if you can dive through the tunnel.
Okay. Oh, shit. Marriage roll is 7.
Okay, you're fine. How about Seamus, though?
A 51 out of 57.
Seamus barely makes it in, and only because Marius has so many success levels. So, as the tunnel's beginning to kind of shimmer and becoming less opaque, you see the male dark elf fling himself through, and Marius, in a last moment of kind of almost feral speed, you crunch down to the top of the tower and throw yourself, piercing the veil, and you're through. Seamus is running as fast as he can. He can't keep up with your more woven form, and he leaps just as bolts of energy begin to sear the ground behind him. You can hear the shrieking and cawing of strange sounds that no human should ever have to listen to, Seamus, as you dive in to the tunnel, and you feel just a twinge as your foot is almost cut off as the tunnel collapses behind you. And you're both through. You land heavily onto the ground. Marius, as this happens, you see the two elves look back at you. And the man and the woman both just begin running as fast as they can down this tunnel.
Fuck. This is a metagame question. Are we going to be able to catch them? Because I mean, they're
moving quickly. Theoretically, we could enter another skill challenge if you want to try to catch them. Because if we're doing just standard rules, there's no way. They're too fast. I was about to say, they're too fast. These are assassins of the Dark Elves, and they have almost double your speed in movement. Shit. And that's if they're not dashing. Like they're moving at a level of speed that is beyond normal. They could run next to a horse that you were riding.
Oh damn!
So, if you want to enter some checks to try to, it'll be difficult, but you could try. That's always an option.
Maris, I mean, unless he sees like Seamus like slowing down, they'll probably start to chase him. Unless like I don't know, Teclis is like dying on my shoulder or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's not doing well at all. You haven't even looked at him. Okay. As far as you know, you're out of danger.
Okay.
Are you going to kind of stop, or are you giving chase?
If it looks unrealistic, like if I like, my question is, I guess, does Marius think he would be able to catch them? I guess.
I'll tell you this: if you were to drop Bragadine's corpse and Teclis, I would say that you would have a decent chance of maybe catching them in your hybrid form.
Okay. Can Seamus turn to Wraith and fly after him? You know,
he doesn't. He still moves the normal speed of a person, even in
I had to ask. You know, I didn't know what his abilities are these days. You know, so you know. I guess Wolf Form Marius will be kind of growling, and he'll look towards Seamus to see if Seamus is thinking about giving chase or taking a shot or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. He's gonna.
What are you doing, Seamus?
Seamus would have to reload. So Seamus would probably just let them go.
Okay. As Seamus begins to almost kind of, not exactly casually, but efficiently begin to reload his many weapons standing there. It takes him a few moments. As they realize you're not giving chase, you see them stop quite a ways ahead. And you hear the woman call out, "The Witch King gives his regards, cousin." And then they continue running, and they are out of sight within moments.
Damn.
Teclis looks bad. He's coughing up black blood, which his blood is normally red, like the rest of yours. And there's still a dagger in his back. So...
Yeah, if possible, I would like to do a heal check on him.
Okay, go ahead and give me a heal check.
All right. 7 out of 56.
Okay, you're able to remove the dagger. You shift it out, and you hear him... And he's like on his knees, on all fours, practically coughing up blood still.
Yeah, Marius is gonna need to shift back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the case, if we're not chasing him, I guess. Did I heal any in my brief stint as a hybrid role?
I'll give you one wound back. How about that?
I'll take it. You know,
Why
I'll
not?
take anything, bro. You know, so generous. So yeah, but yeah, I'll try to assist Seamus in any way I can with Teclis if I feel like I can help. You know.
Marius, don't you have anatomy?
I do
Yeah.
have anatomy. I have lore anatomy.
Lore anatomy. Do you have anything with poisons?
No kind of like anything that says directly with poisons, I would think.
Okay, no, you don't. Okay.
Stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's do this then. Here's what's going to happen. Teclis is going to... Well, let's see what he does. Let me roll for it. Okay, yeah.
He dies.
No, he does not die. He kind of sits up to where he's just kind of on his knees, and he... and the blood stops trickling out of his like mouth and his like nose, where it was just kind of flowing from. They took it. Damn it. Where are we? As he kind of looks around.
In one of these tunnels, Master Teclis.
Tunnels, you say?
They were too quick.
It's fine. I did not expect much out of you. When it comes to that, they are devious, to say the least. I fear you wouldn't fare well on your own. Regardless, help me up. And he kind of reaches out a hand, shakily.
Mm-hmm. I'd reach down and help him up.
And he kind of gets to his feet.
Unfortunately, I believe Seamus and myself have met those two before.
Have you now? How does two men of the Empire come to know Dark Elf assassins? I'd very much like to know.
We didn't know they were assassins. We thought they were individuals being ready to be sacrificed to some perverse ritual. And we decided to show mercy and release them from their cage.
Well, at least the more imminent crisis has been averted. the Shadow Lord will not be bothering us for quite some time. But I fear, as he looks back, and the hole you came through is gone.
Mm-hmm.
If this place is what I think it is, I believe I might be able to get us back to the Empire.
Should we not give chase?
We won't catch them. And I honestly, I doubt that it would matter at this point anyway. More than likely, you saw what they've done. They are using evil magics to transposition themselves. They are probably not even in these tunnels any longer. We should do the same. I sense evil. I sense malice coming quickly. Come. And he begins to move his hands in a series of motions. He walks over to the wall of the tunnel itself and begins to kind of do these hand motions over the brick. And as he does, you can see lingering lights, almost like runic glyphs lighten up where he touches. And eventually it forms almost like a doorway with kind of runes around the edges, very reminiscent of the doorway you just went through. And as he begins to stand back, his head stops for a moment. The entryway begins to... The solid rock begins to become translucent, and he stops. And he looks at both you and Seamus. Quickly! Move! And as he says that, there is a massive vulture-like hand that rips through thin air and reaches out. And I need Seamus and Marius to give me a dodge roll.
Oh.
Yeah.
A 29 out of 42.
Okay. And Marius?
45 out of 70.
Okay. You both managed to kind of dodge away. Marius, quick question.
Yes.
As this happens, you move out of the way. Bragadine's body is laying below the hand. The tunnel opens up. The entrance opens up against the wall. Teclis is shouting for you and Marius to jump through. I can't hold this for long. Hurry! As the second hand bursts through and is tearing open a rift. And you see the maddened, wizened head of Talactile begin to shove its way through. What are you guys doing?
Jumping through?
Are you saying that?
So Seamus, without a thought, jumps through the open portal. Marius, you're standing there. Teclis, quickly! I can't hold it!
Are you saying that if I try to grab Bragadine, something will happen?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Grab him. Don't let his corpse die in ignominy.
How far is his body right below my feet?
No, he's a couple feet away from you at this point because you had to dodge away from the clawed hand.
That's true. That's true. Fuck.
It's all right, bro. Just leave him.
No problem.
It's not Spanish, so it's okay.
Marius would go for the body. He'd go for it. He'd do it.
Marius charges
What a-
forward.
Jumbo Smooth
Teclis
thinks it's bad.
in this moment, his eyes widening. You fool! And he lances out magical, almost like lightning, above you, and kind of hits Talactile in the face. You reach down and grab a hold of Bragadine's body, quickly throwing him over your shoulder and moving towards the portal. The portal is beginning to close as Teclis is losing his grasp. As you begin to plunge yourself through, you see as The portal is almost translucent, and Teclis is moving towards the portal. And Tlacteel bursts through. And you see his eyes widen, and then the portal closes. And Teclis is not there.
Oh, damn.
Good job, bro. Look what you did.
As this happens,
I know.
Seamus, you would be the first one to notice. You are in somewhat darkness for just a moment, and then you realize you're... because Seamus, you would have been in here a few seconds before Marius. This is the circular chamber of the old ones back in Sielberg. There's the pedestal in the center. Only, Seamus, you see, just for a moment, across from you, there is a doorway. The doorway you usually step through to enter. And you see 3 men step through, moving into the tunnel. One of them has a massive pick across his back, looks very reminiscent of Drengizan. The other, a long cloak, a katana on his hip, multiple weapons, a thunderer across his back. The third, a knight in armor, with a very elven shield slung across his shoulders as they step through into the tunnel of the old ones. The portal closes. And then Marius stumbles through before the portal behind you closes. And you're back in Sielberg proper.
Where's Teclis?
I don't know, he was right before me. And he kind of shimmered out of existence. Am I saying that right? Is that what happened? I feel like that's what happened.
Kind of.
Okay.
He may or may not have been in shock as the greater demon. You know, he had to hold it for a little bit longer than he should have, and it snatched him. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen with that? It's fine.
He'll be out for 5 turns.
He'll be fine.
5 turns, banished.
5 turns. He'll be back.
5 turns, he'll be back. Looks like we're home.
I'm not sure what we should do, Seamus. I don't feel like we've finished our story.
I can at least guarantee you this time no time has passed.
What do you mean?
Well, when I came out the other end, I saw us going across the room on the other side.
When we head off to Albion the first time. Incredible.
First things first. Need to make it back to Sielberg.
Yes, let's go back home at least for a little bit.
Is Bragadine's body wrapped up, or is he just like hanging there dead?
He's just dead.
Just
you guys haven't
hanging
wrapped
out,
him in anything, or you haven't had the opportunity to do anything yet.
It's just been
Weekend at
crazy.
Bernie's, bro.
Yeah. He just slung over my shoulder right now. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
At some point, I'd like to make an effort to wrap that body.
I'll put it like this.
If possible.
As you kind of move to stop and kind of look over the corpse that was Bragadine Bonneau, the earth moves beneath your feet, rumbles, shifts. You see cracks begin to form along the edges of this room.
Son of a bitch. It doesn't look like it's crumbling down like it's Indiana Jonesing.
Looks like it just looks like the mountain itself just moved for a moment.
Do we get a sense that it came from like inside the mountain or outside the mountain?
Marius, you're more... So I will say this, because Marius has such an interesting background when it comes to the Earth. You would be able to tell, Marius, that that felt like an explosion.
Ooh, okay.
That felt like a detonation somewhere. You don't know where, but somewhere nearby.
An explosion! Hurry, Seamus!
After you, I can't see.
And I'll start leading the way back out the tunnel if possible.
Yeah, you can easily make your way. Are you moving to go outside the mountain
Yes.
to move back down to Sielberg? Okay.
Yeah, to get a look at Sielberg.
As you get to the mouth of the cave, of the tunnel that leads outside, you can see the green light spilling across the ground as very accurately, as Seamus put it, no time has passed, quite literally. It is still Gehemmensnacht. Damn it, I can't say it.
Close enough.
Good job.
Close enough. The green chaos moon is still very low to the earth, and evil is afoot. As you step out into the light, you can see that, well, you feel another, and this time you hear an explosion. And you look down and you can see Sielberg is burning. There are buildings just exploding down below, people screaming. You can hear their cries even from here. Something terrible is happening.
Question.
Yes.
DM question. We didn't feel an explosion like when we left to go to Albion, did we?
No, you did not.
Okay.
Because it happened
That's-
after you left.
Okay. Just
Is it
a question.
like fire explosion or is it like green fire?
Now, due to the nature of the light, because everything is painted in green right now, because this is almost like an eclipse,
It's true.
that would be hard to tell. You do see fire, though. It does look green. Is it because of the light, or is it because of something else? I don't know. Maybe you get closer and find out.
Maris is going to try to patch himself up, and then he's going to head down there.
Okay, go ahead and give me a heal check.
Good idea. Ooh.
Well, 24 out of 37.
Okay, you still get your intelligence bonus plus 1.
Okay.
Seamus, you doing the same?
Yeah, I got a 50 out of 56. I think that's just my toughness
Just your intelligence
bonus.
bonus then.
Just intelligence bonus.
Yep. And you're able to recover that in wounds. And I will say, with all of this happening, Marius, are you going to still be carrying Braggadine's body down this mountain?
I mean, I think so. I've come this far, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. You're still lugging it.
Of course,
It's-
Maris is half naked and covered in blood.
Yes.
and
You
very-
have a loincloth. It's shifted
Yep.
with you. It's almost like it's magical or something.
Is
I
it
don't know.
indestructible?
It's indestructible. Who knows?
That's awesome.
But I will need an endurance check from you, Marius.
Okay. 57 out of 70.
57 out of 70. Okay, you managed to. You don't become exhausted. You have had this has been a long day for all of you at this point.
Yeah.
Especially Bragadine, obviously. As you make your way down the mountain and you take the familiar path to make it to Sielberg, you see that there's just fire. You can see from here smoke filling the sky, people screaming. You make it to the gate of the town. The gate is open, wide open. It looks like chaos in the streets. There's people screaming, and it's hard to tell what's happening on the inside. You see, I'm assuming are you moving quickly, like through the gate area into Sielberg?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm assuming so.
Okay. Kind of moving in, and the first thing you see is a contingent of guardsmen of town watch that look like they are being slashed to pieces. There's only 2 of them left standing. It's hard to tell what the hell these are. Go ahead and give me perception tests, both of you.
Oh, boy.
39 out of 64.
Very good for Seamus. How about Marius?
Marius didn't do too hot. Marius rolled a 94 out of 64.
Marius, you think you see Skaven in the streets. The foul rat men, the size of people, fighting all over Sielberg, above on the surface. Seamus, when you're looking, you see that those aren't Skaven. Those are people wearing the skin of dead Skaven, draped over them almost like some unholy cloak, and it's like fitted to their person to make them look like one of those creatures. You can tell that it's like an old, disgusting hide, rotten in places. It looks like it smells horrible. If there wasn't so much blood and fire in your near vicinity, you would probably be gagging. You can tell that these men have exposed forearms. You noticed all of them have gray eyes, Seamus. They're all locals, and they all have a tattoo on their forearm. 3 lines with a fang-like dagger going through it. And as they are ripping into the guardsmen, you see the final town guardsman standing is Old Man Otto. As he slices through 2 of them, he is grievously wounded, and he goes down to a knee. The fellow watchman with him also just falls over dead from multiple stab wounds that he's received. And Otto is laying there right now, bleeding out, essentially, on the floor. Everything is burning, and there are just people screaming and townsfolk running to and fro. What would you guys like to do?
Does Otto have someone standing over him?
He like in the moment you're passing through, he killed the last attacker in combat, but he looks like he's been stabbed and shot. There's actually a crossbow bolt sticking out of his right shoulder. He doesn't look like he's in good health.
Seamus would run to Otto and unless he dies beforehand, try to at least ask him what's going on.
You run over to Otto. Okay. Marius, I'm assuming you're doing the same?
Yeah, Marius would do the same.
Still carrying Braggadine's corpse.
I mean, how about yes? Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. I'm just making note of this. As you kind of quickly move over to Otto, you see him kind of coughing up thick blood. There's wounds all over his body, Seamus. Go ahead and give me a heal check, Seamus.
All right. Not good. 54 out of 56.
Okay. Seamus, you look over him. You don't know what you can do for him.
Yeah.
He's dying.
Mm-hmm.
As he he looks up at you, and he looks over at Marius. Marius, we weren't expecting you back.
Old man, we must get you to the sisters.
So time. This is it for me. The center of town. They're doing something.
We'll stop them. We'll stop them, Otto.
And he just falls silent, Marius. And he kind of just falls back, leans back, his eyes still open. And you know that he has just died.
No!
As Otto passes from this world, what are you doing, Marius?
Marius is going to kind of prop him up, I guess, against a building, you know?
Yeah, you kind of move to prop him up. As you're propping him up.
I'm gonna set Braggadine next to him,
Okay.
Put
You set
him right there.
the corpse of Bragadine, which is not rotting and smelling. He hasn't been dead for that long.
Yeah.
You kind of put him next to Otto. As you do so, Seamus, since you're kind of still standing, you would see first that there's a new group of cultists that kind of turned the corner. And the two in the forefront leading them lock eyes with you. You see about 8 cultists. You recognize the two in the front, Seamus. One of them is a man with really burly-looking arms and naked kind of shoulders, still wearing this kind of disgusting rat skin. He has a tattoo kind of further up on his, almost on his bicep area of this cult. And he has what looks like a blacksmith's hammer in one hand and a fane-like dagger in his left. There's a woman next to him. Older, but you recognize her. This is Mr. Hugo, the blacksmith, and Miss Suna, his wife. And they look at you. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be gone. And they look on with eyes wide as the heroes of Sielberg have somehow turned around and have appeared.
The gruesome twosome.
We are here. And we are going to kill all of you. And Marius is going to wolf out.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As you kind of begin to shift, they take a few steps back. Our Lord, he will rise forward. And they kind of point towards you. And I need you guys to roll me initiative.
All right. Ooh, bro, I just want to let you know, I picked up a new talent, it's
of course
terrifying.
Yes,
it's frightening.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so I just want to know,
Okay.
anyone
Well, we'll go to that. How about you just roll me initiative first?
got a fear rating of 1, Let's see, initiative.
Seamus got an 11.
11.
Marius is right below him with a 10.
Okay, Seamus, you are first to act, actually. There are 8 cultists ahead of you. What would you like to do?
What's the distance?
We'll say like 40 feet. Not very far.
All right. Seamus will let us smirk and start going towards them. And when he gets within 20 feet, he'll pull out 2 pistols and start firing away.
Give me 2 shots.
The first one is a 42 out of 76.
Oh, yeah. And the second?
The second one is a 47 out of 76.
Okay. You kill 2 cultists immediately. Just boom, boom. 2 of them just like chest and head and then fall over, just completely dead immediately. They have to make rolls. Yeah, they all immediately fail their checks after being fired upon with black powder weapons. They immediately and they kind of slow down and stop and kind of hold up their hands and begin to drop their weapons and then just begin dashing out the sides of the street into the burning remnants of the houses nearby. Probably some of them to their deaths. Hugo and Misuna stand their ground, however. And it is now Marius Wolf's turn.
Marius would like to charge Hugo.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll. He'll try to defend himself.
Okay.
Probably be able to.
Marius rolled a 9 out of 70.
Yeah, I'm going to
80 if I
say
get charged.
How much damage
Plus
is
a
that?
20.
Because it's going to be, it's not going to matter. It's so significant.
Okay.
How would you like to kill Mr. Hugo, the blacksmith from like one of the very first
Yes.
foyers into Sielberg
Yes.
that you ever saw?
Maris is just going to kind of, run up with like, kind of on three hands, kind of run it up and then kind of lurches up with his pick and just does like an underhanded uppercut right into his gut and just skewers him.
Ugh, as he and his blood just pours out of his mouth. And he just kind of flies backwards. Yeah.
When he's still stuck on my pick, I want to use my left hand to claw to attack Miss Suna.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll. Jesus.
Going to be 49 out of a lot.
Yeah, she's dead. How would you like to kill his wife? Right next to him within a fraction of a second.
Maris is going to kind of grab her by he's gonna take his claw and like stick it into her gut and kind of lift her up to his face, and just kind of study it for a while, thinking, this woman betrayed, their little girl. And
oh yeah, and it's all starting
to
click together.
Exactly.
Everything that has been happening for so long after seeing this unveiled.
Maris wants to see her see her eyes, and then
she's frightened. Then as you kind of bring her close, she's our Lord will rise. He will wipe away the filth.
Before she says any of that stuff, he just is going to bite her right in the face.
Yeah, it's like a gurgling scream as you like rip her face off. It's horrible.
And then
just
sling their bodies on the ground.
Yeah, you just kind of sling them to the side. Both of them dead. Sielberg is a mess right now. What the two of you can see. You're on the main thoroughfare, which leads to the town center. You can see there is something happening somewhere up there towards the town center. It looks like there is heavy fighting outside of the Temple of Shalia, further to your left. And it looks like there is fighting outside of the Silk Canary. And there are cultists being cut down by the dozens. As they're moving towards that place, and it is easily being defended by a handful of women of the night. It's kind of strange, and they don't appear to be armed.
Shit.
But none of the cultists are able to breach these two places. They look like safe havens of a sort. Just giving you guys kind of a brief this is what you see down the street besides all the chaos. So what would you guys like to do?
Maris is going to try to, I'm assuming we're going to try to carve our way through. Maris is going to look for his family,
Okay. I will say this, Marius.
Okay.
If that is your objective, if you're going to look through your family, mm-hmm. It would be quicker to move in the direction of the canary and kind of move behind it. Not necessarily next to it or anything like that, but you can cut through the kind of the slum kind of area. It would give you a more direct route straight to the Thaggy, if that's what you would like to do, instead of going down the center. Because it looks like there is a large amount of cultists at the center of town right now.
Okay. Well, fuck. Are they doing like a ritual? Can we see the light's still like bright, right?
The light is bright. There's tons of smoke and everything kind of obscuring vision.
Okay.
You're not sure what they're doing at the center of town.
Well, I guess Maris will probably go to the center of town then if he thinks they're up to no good,
Okay. As I'm assuming, Seamus, you're following.
Yeah, Seamus will go to the center of town regardless of what Marius did.
Okay. As you begin moving down in that direction, you see a coming out of the Temple of Shalia. You see a battered and bruised, very kind of bleeding man stumble out. He looks like, and both of you would recognize him. He's a regular at Sielberg, at the Thaggy, the Silver Thaggy. He kind of stumbles out. He has a sword in one hand, and he kind of stumbles out into the streets, and a couple other men stumble out behind him, and they're looking back and forth, and they see a giant werewolf who's probably a little intimidating. And then they see Seamus McCready, and they kind of freeze for a moment. And then they look over to you, Seamus. They don't know what to do because there's a wolfman with you.
That's my pet.
Is that what you tell them? Is that what you say to them?
No. If they're capable of fighting, we're going to the center of town. Seamus will just keep going.
Master McCready, the Thaggy.
What about
Thordum. Little Priscilla.
At that point, Marius is going to just like, and is going to book it over to the Thaggy.
Okay. Seamus, you see Marius just peel off to your right, and he begins cutting through some alleys to make a more direct route towards the Thaggy.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you still moving towards the center of town?
Yep, Otto said to go to the center. Marius is in wolf form, so I think he has that under control.
Okay. We're going to peel away from Seamus then for a moment as Marius makes his way to the Silver Thaggy, very quickly pushing through the back alleys of the streets. You burst out. You have to probably cut down a few cultists on your way here. No need for us to roll initiative for any of this. You can easily dispatch small numbers of them in your more lupine form. And you make it to the thoroughfare, the side streets that leads off of the main town center. You see the door of the Thaggy laying in the street, ripped from its hinges. There's smoke billowing from the top. All of the windows in the front are shattered and broken. The foundation looks like it's cracked, as if an explosion happened nearby. There are remnants of debris littering outside. What are you doing, Marius?
Probably in an effort not to scare his child, he's going to turn back into regular old Marius Wolf.
Okay, you begin to shift down, still just a loincloth.
Yeah. And is going to try to, I guess, kind of stealth up and see if he can see anything.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Okay. That's a 22, bro, out of...
Okay. Yeah, you easily...
46.
There's small explosions happening nearby, and you're able to very quietly kind of sneak up, and you look inside. You don't see anybody immediately. You do see bodies laying across the bar. The inside of here, it looks like an explosion went off in the center somewhere. There's the tables and the chairs are shattered remnants of it all over the barroom floor. Ale spilled across the ground, pieces smoldering here and there. There's just debris, like one of the walls got blown out on the back side, that has spilled into the tap room. In the center, You see a table that is moving up and down. And from beneath it, you see a hand with a ring on its finger. Slender hand. You recognize the ring.
No, bro, no. Marius rushes over and tries to, just fling the table off.
Yep. You easily chuck the table to the side. And Sarah's there. There's looks like a piece of debris impaled through her stomach.
Can I do a medical check? Is there anything I can do? Or is it kind of
This
fatal?
is going to be a moment, Marius Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need either a critical success or you're going to need 4 levels of success.
Oh, I don't even think I can do it. It's got to be a critical. I don't think I can get 4 levels of success. Okay.
This is, I'm letting you know ahead of time
Yep.
what
Okay.
you need.
All right, I'm rolling. Marius rolled a 62 out of 37, so he failed.
Marius,
Yeah.
as you're looking over her, Marius, save her. They took her.
I will. I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. Don't, it's not your fault. Just get her back. Get our baby back. And that's the last breath of your wife, Sarah, leaves her lungs.
Marius is holding her for a second, starts to cry a little, and puts his head on her head. I will get her back. I swear to you. Nothing will stop me. And I pick her up and kind of lay her down on the top of the bar.
Yeah, as you pick her up and you lay her down, you see a form shifting in the rubble nearby.
Marius will go over to it.
You go over to it. It appears to be a boy, a young man, shifting out from underneath. Kind of pulls himself free. He's filthy, covered with scratches and nicks, but you recognize the young boy Theodore.
Oh, Mr.
Theodore.
Marius. Mr. Marius.
Oh, God.
Praise the God, you're back. Is bragging with you. And Sherman,
He's bragging with you?
please.
Nah.
You don't know, it's been horrible.
Boy.
I don't. Yes, sir. Yes.
Calm yourself.
Where's
Priscilla?
They took her. It was horrible. There were people, but they were just like rats.
And Thordum.
Screeching and Thordum, he was fighting. I don't
Pretty
know
boy.
where he is.
It is at this moment that the door that leads to the pantry behind the bar just explodes off its hinges, flies into the room. You see a form step through. Humanoid shape. Large gut exposed. He appears to only be wearing a pair of pants. No shoes, no shirt. There are scars across his body from battles past. He has a bit of a limp, but he's holding himself well. The sides of his head have been shaved. There's a tall, blood-thick, spiked mohawk across Thordum Amberbelly's head.
She's taken the oath.
As he has his blunderbuss in one hand and an axe in the other. And he looks over towards you, Marius. You can see that there are cuts and tears across his body. I'm sorry, Manling. I couldn't keep my oath.
I know you tried. I must save the little one now.
We will get her back. Come!
Maris will turn to Theodore. Boy, I can't tell you what to do. If you want to follow me, you can. Stay clear.
I will, of course. Perhaps you can help me find Lord Bragantine later. But yes, I will follow you for now.
Marius picks him up and kind of stands him up and all right, lad, let's go. And Marius is flying after Thornton.
All right.
Is there anything like a cudgel or something like that, or just
you could easily pick up a piece of debris. I'll say this: there would be a dagger laying at your feet.
Okay.
It looks like it's made out of bone, and it's in the shape of a fang.
This will do.
you pick it up, you pick it up, and you head out with the rest of them. It's at this moment we're going to flash back to Seamus McCready, as during this whole event he has been moving forward towards the center of town with a contingent of men behind him, beginning to form up into kind of a ragtag group. Seamus, you also see, you feel a chill down your spine, and you feel a tingle across your cheek. And within a second, you kind of look to your left, and you see the small alabaster-skinned form wearing very little clothing and apparently not wielding any weapons, her lips and chin slick with blood. The Lady Montague. I see this has finally come to pass.
Care to join me in the killing?
Of course. I could not abandon my companion. She kind of raises an eyebrow at you.
Seamus lets out a slight little smirk. And he's taking this little squad of his into the center of town.
Okay. The vampiress, Lady Montague, is joining you, and so are her coven of vampiresses. They're all female. And they're also happen to be who would have thought they are the women of the night that many people have been visiting this entire time.
Is Helga among them?
Helga is among them, and ironically, when you do catch her for a moment, Seamus, she's lost considerable weight. She looks like she's actually rather thin now and very good looking. Almost unnaturally good looking.
You blew it, bro.
You blew it.
She could have been yours.
Could have been yours this whole time. And
There's
you begin running forward, Seamus. And as you do, you see that there's just droves of it. It's almost like half of the city went insane all at once. And you start to think back, Seamus, on your father, your family, long ago. You start to think back on everything. Why is this happening? And you remember that your family was ostracized from this town. And you never knew why. You thought it was just because you guys were the toll keepers. But now you're starting to think that perhaps Your father didn't agree with whatever was happening here in Sielberg, and thus he was excommunicado, as it was.
Mm.
And you're seeing the fruits of the labor of the locals of Sielberg in work. They are currently kind of all, some of them on fours, acting like wild animals, beasts almost, just in a frenzy here at the town center. Seamus, you didn't see it up close, but there is some kind of pentagram-like thing that has been drawn in the center of the town. All of these stalls and stands have been bashed and burned and pushed to the side, making de facto kind of barriers, so that the only way in and out is here through the center, without varying degrees of difficulty. As this happens, you see that there are ranks of cultists ahead of you. There is one cultist up on a platform up ahead, and he has his hands lifted high, screaming aloud in a squeaking language that should not be passing through human lips. But you see his face, Seamus. Very clean-cut looking face, tall. And you recognize, real quick here, let me grab his character sheet that I've had this entire time. You recognize ironically, he has blue eyes. His hair appears to be graying, tuffed out from beneath a skaven skin that has horns all running along the sides of it. The kind of gaunt, thin face of Governor Archibald Freeze, chanting in Queekish, the language of the Skaven. And as he's coming to a crescendo, you can see that there are 13 small balefire lights at the edges of this pentagram that are flicking bright as they all kind of light up. And there is what looks to be some kind of miasma coalescing above him. Yes! Yes! It has come true! He will reign. He will devour. He will destroy all. He will wipe it clean and we will rule. What are you doing, Seamus?
You see he's on a platform, like a stage?
He's on a platform, and there are numerous cultists just everywhere. Some of them around him, some of them below, kind of on the ground floor. The cobbled street.
And there's like the mass of people in between me and him.
There's, ranks. I'm talking about like 30, 40 people.
Is it a mix of the cultists and like the guardsmen, or just all cultists?
They're all cultists. All the guardsmen, and you've been passing by dead guardsmen. You don't know how many of the cultists are guardsmen. There could be guardsmen in there that are actually cultists. There's no way for you to know. They've all donned this kind of disgusting Skaven cloak. But you're not sure who is who within there, but you do know that they are all followers of the Yellow Fang.
I'll say aloud so just like you can hear. We need to get the one on the stage. He's the one that needs to die. And then I'll turn back to my posse. Somewhere in the background, I feel like music from Gangs of New York is probably going to start playing.
It is. It is indeed.
I'll just turn around. You said the vampire women were with us too?
They are. They're beginning to spread out, almost skulking to the sides.
All right, I'll let them do their thing, because they're vampires. I'll turn to the men. Men, You are men of Sielberg. These are your people we need to save. Follow me into battle. Some of you will die. If you can turn now and turn back. But if you want to live forever into the gardens of Moor, you will follow me now in this day to save the city. And I will turn, and I guess if I can't get to the stage anyway, I'm just going to beeline through and just start cutting people down.
Okay. You start moving through. You hear the men, "Ah!" and they start all charging with you as you begin to move into the crowd. Before you get too far in, Lady Montague's next to you. That is the Whisperer, Seamus. Do make sure you handle him. And she motions towards the former Governor Freeze, wearing the horned headdress of a rat man.
Yes, Seamus will do whatever he can to.
All right, Seamus. As you begin moving into the crowd, first give me a melee attack roll.
That is a 52 out of 75.
52. So 2 levels of success. You manage to cut down 2 men. You will regain 2 wounds if you need any. And you're able to cut down 2 men as you begin to kind of push your way in. Let's see here. There's no way. No, they're not capable of defending against what is happening right now. There's too much going on. You're slowly making headway, Seamus. Go ahead and give me one more melee attack roll.
This one is it's a 66 out of 85.
Okay, with a critical success, you're able to cleave through, so 85, so you're able to cut through 4 more. Just slashing left and right, and you're cleaving through these crazed men and women, both cutting through them. And you almost make it to the edge of the pentagram, Seamus. You can see there's only maybe 1 or 2 cultists that are juxtaposed between you and the edge of this ritual. And it's at this point, Seamus, that you notice that at the edge of this rituals, there's a child at each point of the pentagram. It looks like their hearts have been ripped from their bodies and are burning green balefire. They're all dead. However, Seamus, you see upon the stage, there's one little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Strapped down. Hands and feet bound. Writhing about, screaming. As the governor and his cohorts are kind of chanting, all circled around her. I need you to make me one more melee attack, Seamus.
Oof. All right. Oof. That's a back-to-back 66.
Okay. With that, you're able to cut through the 2 remaining obstacles between you and the edge of this ritual happening. You push your way past the bodies into this, and as you pass through, I need you to give me an endurance check, Seamus, at -30.
All right, -30. I'm gonna have to re-roll that, and it is a 31 out of 42.
Seamus, you almost get nauseous. You and you kind of almost go to a knee. You, due to your resistance to chaos, you only receive 1 point of corruption.
All right.
And you are inhaling, you can tell from this balefire that's burning from these corpses around you. It appears that it is mixed with warpstone. And it is pungent and passing into the air. And you are inhaling it while inside this circle. this may not necessarily be a race against enemies. This might be a race against time.
Yes.
It's at this point, Seamus, give me a perception test.
Perception is a 45 out of 64.
45 out of 64. Seamus, you go to move up. You're moving towards the platform itself, the kind of very quickly cobbled together platform that they've made. And actually, it's ironic because it looks a lot like the platform that was being constructed to hang both you and Marius at one point, and Bragadine. You begin moving towards kind of the stairs that lead up, and you see that there are 13 men, including the governor himself, that are making this kind of ritual circle up there. And as you're glancing up, you feel a pain explode through your back, Seamus. And you hear a squeak in your ear. Not fast, man thing. I need you making me another endurance check at -30, Seamus.
That bastard. This one's a 34 out of 42.
Okay. You're only going to take 14 wounds through the back.
Okay.
It is piercing, so it bypasses 1 point of armor, but you can use your armor and your toughness bonus. As he pulls free it slides out of your back. He has these kind of claws on one of his paws, and you see the kind of squat, black-clad assassin, Kretch, the foul creature that you fought down in the mines. Rise, horned one, Will. You die. I need you to roll me initiative, Seamus.
All right. Did I lose a point of momentum from that hit?
You do, in fact.
All right. Oof! I rolled a 1 on my initiative, so it's a 5.
Okay. All right. With that, Seamus, we are going to peel over to Marius and Theodore. The three of you, including Thordoom, Amberbelly, the recent taker of oaths, the slayer that he has become, are moving quickly towards the town center. You can see that there's almost like a makeshift barrier that has been set up in place. And as you get close, you get to almost the edge of the barrier, Marius and Theodore. And Thordoom is quickly behind you, and you hear screams coming from behind you, calls and cries. And Marius, you can climb this, Marius. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And as you are moving with all haste, trying to get into the center, you look back, Marius, and you see that there are 40, 50 cultists running full speed at the three of you. You have a choice, Marius, since you are the one somewhat in the lead. Thordoom looks at you and then looks back. Looks down at little Theodore. Well, probably eye to eye with Theodore. It's up to you, manlings. And he turns back to him.
Should we hide?
This day, I enter the halls of my ancestors. Go! Fulfill my oath, manling. And he's going to charge the crowd.
Marius will just, before he goes, thank you, my friend. And I'll pick up Theodore and just put him on my back and climb over the barricade.
Okay, give me a climb check.
Okay. That is going to be 60 out of 80.
60 out of 80. You're able to scale the wall quickly, even with Theodore kind of slung across your shoulder. And you throw yourself over the top, land on your feet, and you are inside this pentagram circle that I just described.
Oh.
A dead child just to your left. A young boy.
Show mercy.
Oh no!
Yeah. And we'll flip over to Seamus, who's just right across the way. You see this. Well, go ahead and roll me initiative, Marius and Theodore.
Marius rolled a 12.
12. And Theodore, what'd you roll?
Theodore rolled a 6.
All right. Okay. Seamus, there's going to be one round of combat before Marius and Theodore enter into order.
All right.
Seamus, Kretsch is going to go first.
Yep.
You should have known. I need you to defend yourself, Seamus.
All right. Oh, that's good. It's a 24 out of 95.
Okay. How many levels of success? Very important here.
I think it's 6. Yeah.
6.
1 away from 7.
I have 7 levels of success.
Oh,
Seamus.
no! Damn it.
Bro, I
Do you
thought that
ha-
was 7.
Do you
I thought it was
do you do you have any
24
20? That's not. No, wait. It is. It's 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 7. You guys tie. I always give it to you guys when you tie. So you managed to barely deflect the first strike, and it kind of there's sparks come off of the sword as you deflect a blow, and he is going to backflip away from you. You will get an attack, so go ahead and take your free attack.
All right. It is a 43 out of. If I gain momentum from that, it's a 43 out of 105.
Okay, not enough, unfortunately. You go to when you hit nothing but air, and as he's flying away from you,
Bastard going to throw a dagger.
You're going to get 2 rattling ninja stars into the chest.
Jesus.
You fall back a couple steps. I need you to make me 2 endurance tests at -30.
That's what's going to kill me. The first one's an 18.
Okay, yeah, you're good on that one.
Second one I failed.
Okay. All right, Seamus. You only take 9 wounds from the first one. It does have piercing, so it passes 1 point of armor. Does that even touch the flesh?
Yeah, it does. It does 3 to me.
Okay. All right. The second one is going to do 10 wounds. And this one, like the first one, just kind of cuts and kind of glances off of you. The second one sticks. It sticks in kind of like your kind of right below your kind of right pec, as you and it's deep inside, and you can see off of the 3 remaining spikes that aren't in your body that there's a greenish black tinged liquid dripping from it, like almost wet. And you have 4 poison conditions.
All right.
As you have been dosed with some severe Skaven shenanigery. And as that happens, you're to -40 to all tests, Seamus, until you get these resolved. And he kind of he's over there by the structure, and he kind of looks. He looks, and then he sees Marius and Theodore. You, Grey One! Kretsch, kill, slay! And he is going to duck underneath the He's going to duck underneath the kind of raised area that Freeze and the rest of them are on. And he's going to disappear from sight. And that brings us to Marius Wolf. It's your turn.
So I'm in the center of town now, and next to one of the sacrifices on the pentagram.
Yes.
How many?
Oh, I forgot. I need Marius and I need Theodore to give me endurance tests at minus 30. So Theodore, you fail this no matter what. I just want to see how bad you fail it.
Damn, for Theodore.
His endurance isn't. It's not even 30. So.
Oh, it's not. Oh, damn. Ooh, nice.
That was worse than Bragadine's house.
At minus 30, you said?
Yes.
Marius rolled a 4 out of 40.
Okay, you're fine. You need 3 levels of success to resist the effects. So you managed to stave off the worst for now. How bad did you roll, Theodore?
We failed with 5 levels of failure.
Okay. Theodore, you have 4 points of corruption.
You gonna turn Theodore? It's fucked up.
He starts in hate, and I did mention that this place, the area of the pentagram is full of warpstone clouded vapor that's just kind of swirling about. As Theodore gets a big whiff and starts coughing everywhere. Theodore is almost about to mutate, just so you know.
Fuck.
Next round, he will mutate if he does not get out of this vicinity soon. I just want to throw it out there. So we'll leave that alone as is. I didn't tell you to jump in the center. That wasn't me. You did that on your own.
Oh, yeah. You know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fine. So Marius, this is your turn now.
Marius is going to what is in between Marius and the platform in Priscilla?
You can see Priscilla tied down up there. There are 13 cultists, including the horned Governor Freeze, with these kind of rats kind of attached to him. They're in a circle around her on the platform. That's it.
Marius, can Marius try an intimidation check?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if it'll work, but Marius is he's going to start running towards him. And he's just going to shout out, Ulrich, guide me! I will slay all of these filth in your name! And just kind of charging forward towards the stage in Priscilla.
Okay. You charge forward. You lunge up there. Go ahead and give me your intimidation test.
Okay. Uh, 37 out of 80.
37 out of 80. Holy shit! I crit failed.
I have a lot of stuff for that. I have menacing that gives me a +10, and then I have frightening. Yeah.
Yep. I got a 99 on their saves. So, all of them, with the exception of Governor Freeze, former Governor Freeze, the other men begin to kind of they're chanting kind of falters, and they look down, and they all begin to kind of try to start to back away, and the governor kind of looks to the sides. No, well, I've come too close. You can't do this! And he reaches over and he rips a knife free from one of the cultists' hands nearby. And it looks like he's going to try to drive it in Priscilla's heart. You used your action, Marius. to intimidate them.
Can I get up in melee with him?
I will allow you to get up onto the platform.
Okay.
This is all going to come down to the next one in initiative, which is Theodore.
Okay.
Theodore, you have an opportunity here. You are the only one. I don't know. You tell me how, if you would like to do it, or if you'd like to try to save Theodore's life, because he's going to get corruption this round if he stays in this vicinity. However, you are in a position to save little Priscilla's life. What would you like to do, Theodore?
So, am I close enough to basically get up and cut her free, or?
I would say that in the time it would take you to try to cut her free, because each limb is bound, she would be dead by the time you try to cut her all free. So he's about to drive a knife in her heart. You tell me what you would like to do. You're able to get up to the platform next to Mr. Marius. The rest of the cultists are kind of like fleeing over the edge. They're scared to death.
Mr. Marius, tell Bragdon I wanted to make him proud. And I jump to try and... Is there like a body block or a lunge? Or I mean, it's something like... Basically
you're gonna shield her with your body?
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of jump over the top of her. And it is the governor's turn next. And he's going to drive it downwards with all the momentum he has. As it pierces through Theodore's back. little man-child scream that he lets out. It is going to be... It's only 10 wounds. Let me think here. That brings Theodore to 0, but it doesn't bring him past.
That's right.
So you actually don't get a critical wound from this as he drives it down, and you used your body to stop it short of entering Priscilla. It's stuck in your back. As this happens, he screams out, "No! No!" And he's going to grab a hold of some pouch on his hip. And he is going to rupture it and inhale deeply. And that is the end of his turn. And that brings us to Seamus McCready. What would you like to do?
I'm technically... I don't want to say by myself, but the person I was fighting has fled somewhat.
He disappeared from view.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception test.
Nice. That is failed. It's a 79 out of 64.
So
but the
you
minus
don't.
40 is even worse.
Yeah, the minus 40 is going to be bad for you. You don't see, but there's venom dripping from your body right now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
you are going to take at the top of the round. Do you have any resolve?
I do. I was going to use one of those.
Okay, you can use one immediately, but you are going to take 3 wounds from the poison damage. So you're down to 3 poison conditions.
Okay.
And you just take a flat 3 wounds. It doesn't it bypasses toughness and everything.
Okay. 3 poison left. Well then, for my action, I will try to pull one of these darts out if I can.
Okay, there's only one.
That's like lodged in me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one. Go ahead and give me a heal check.
With a minus 40, it's a 30.
It's a minus 30 now because you healed
30?
one.
It's still a failure. It's a 39 out of 36.
Nope. You grab a hold of it and you Well, do you have any fortune left?
I do have one fortune left. I will use it.
Okay, use your fortune, and you grab a hold of it, and you manage to suss it out without tearing any flesh. As you pull it free, and it drops down. You see around the wound where there's like black tendrils, veins, and the wound itself looks almost necrotic from where you were stabbed.
If I should have move it. If I can move,
You can move.
Onto the stage or closer to the stage.
I'd say that you'd be able to get onto the other side, the opposite side of the stage, where Marius and Theodore got on. You could get onto the other side, kind of sandwiching in the governor.
How's Montague doing? Is she holding in there?
If you kind of glance over your shoulder, you can see that the vampires are. It's a blood frenzy. It's not even. It's almost not even fair. It's really bad, actually.
Good.
Behind you.
Good. All right, then she's got that under control. So going to the stage.
Okay, you pull yourself up onto the stage. That brings us to Marius. Give me a perception test.
All right.
Presenting Home Chef Oven Ready Meals. There is
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry about that.
Sponsor.
Sponsor. Home Chef Meals. 21 out of... Sorry. 66.
21.
No. 64.
64. Okay. Well, that still doesn't matter. 21, 31, 41, 51, 60. So 4 levels of success. Mm-hmm. Marius, you're too focused on what just happened. The boy Theodore just saved your daughter's life, and you're almost in like mute shock and horror. You witness what the governor is doing. He just inhaled some kind of some green powdered bag. You've seen something similar happen before, down below the earth, and you're almost in mute horror looking at him, and you don't see the live form that creeps out from underneath the stage behind you and throws 3 daggers at your back.
Ooh. How much damage do I take, bro?
One of them misses.
Oh.
The other one's a critical hit.
Ooh.
You don't have any fate left, do you?
Nope.
Oh shit. Okay, let's do them. Do you want to roll the critical? Or you want me to roll it?
I'll roll it.
Rat.
11.
All right, that will be. This is to determine where it's going to be, and that's only your left arm. That's not too bad. So roll me one more.
All right. 35.
The blade cleaves through some kind of tendon in your left arm. The muscle is torn. Shears through it. And it goes limp at your side for a moment. You're only at a -10 because it's a minor injury. It's not like like you don't have use of your arm anymore. But you will need some kind of surgery to repair this. And you have a bleeding condition.
Okay. How much damage?
And that is going to be 12 wounds.
All right.
The third is going to hit you as well. Mm-hmm. For only 9 wounds, so not that bad. Okay. I need you to make me 2 endurance tests at -30.
2 endurance tests? Fuck.
Yes, one for each.
First one's 25 out of 40.
Out of 40? Okay.
Yeah. Second one is an 11 again out of 40.
Okay, so the second one you barely feel it. The first one, however, not enough success levels on that endurance check. As you see that the poison coated, you don't even see it. It's sticking out of your arm. It's kind of on the backside, is dripping, and you have 4 poison conditions, Marius.
Fuck. All right.
And you can just feel it swimming up your arm. This poison just coursing through your veins. And you feel lethargic and weak almost. And you hear, die, die. And that's the end of Kretsch's turn. And that brings us at the top of the round to one Marius Wolf. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my resilience and kill Kretsch.
Holy shit. You use your point of resilience?
Yeah, I'm going to use my point of resilience.
Okay, how? Oh my god. He's down below. He's not in melee with you, but I will give this to you. How would you like to do this? Because you do so much damage. He can't live through this.
Marius is just going to, after the daggers get into him, he's gonna turn around and just kind of stumble over there and reach out real quick with his hand and put it around his neck and just squeeze it until it breaks, and then just throw him aside.
Let's see. You grab a hold of him, and he's in shock. He didn't see you moving this quickly.
Mary's gonna just look at him right in the face and just gonna be like, "Die, die."
Yeah,
And
his little feet are kicking as you, and then he just goes limp, all bug-eyed, wide-eyed. You gotta just toss him to the side.
Yeah.
That's going to be your turn, Marius. But you've killed the assassin.
Can I bonus
Kretsch.
action turn to the wolf? Can I bonus action? I am on death's doors. I know, so
yes, you can.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do then.
Yeah, as you throw him to the side, you begin to kind of shift, and the hairy white wolf begins to stretch and form and appear. And that brings us to Theodore. Theodore, you don't need to make an endurance check. Because
I'm dead.
as soon as the governor crushed the kind of powder and inhaled it into his nostrils, all of the flames flickered out along the edge of the pentagram. So there is no warp stone residue that you inhale right now. However, the crazed man is standing somewhat above you, and you are on top of little Priscilla, and you're bleeding all over her. What would you like to do, Theodore?
The dagger is still jammed in my back.
Yes, it is.
I really can't do anything. I'm technically prone.
You're prone, so you're at half speed, basically.
Okay.
You can't stand up because, well, Theodore is not a hero, so he doesn't have
he's
fate
not.
points and resolve points and all that.
No. I won't let you get her. I love her, and grab her. We'll try and just like fall off Priscilla. Up
Okay.
the altar onto Freeze, trying to just grab like on his feet just to be a nuisance. I mean, he's trying here.
All right, so
he's a little dude.
she's still like tethered, like she's bound.
Okay.
So she ain't going anywhere unless you try to unbind her. You can attempt. You're not.
Do that. Yeah,
You'd rather do okay.
try and,
So
do that or try and cut her free with the dagger.
I will say this: it'd be almost impossible. Well, you have your own dagger. Yes, go ahead and give me a. It's going to be the same no matter what. Give me a weapon attack. So you're not very good with this, but we'll see.
Maybe I should untie her because I'm concerned that if I crit fail the weapon attack, I'm going to stab Priscilla.
I will say, because you're like right on top of her, it's going to be an easy test, so it's going to be a plus 20.
All right, we'll try it.
If you'd like to try it.
No, I rolled a 14, so yeah, I would like to try it. All right. So that would have been
14 out of, I believe, 45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3 levels of success.
3 level. Okay, with 3 levels of success, I will say that you're able to unbind 3 of her 4 limbs. So, what do you want to still leave tethered, like a foot or a hand?
A foot.
A foot. Okay, you kind of get her hands free. You slash through and you kind of reach down, and you're still kind of on top of her. You slash through probably like her left, the left kind of strap that was holding her down. She's still held down, but she, oh, Theodore, you saved me. And that is the end of your turn, Theodore. Anything for you? Yes, I love it. This is fantastic. Marius is going to love this afterwards. After your turn, Theodore, the man, the former Governor Freeze, tilts his head up and his eyes go wide. No, it wasn't supposed to be like this. And his mouth opens up, and it looks like a gout of like thick, almost like green smoke just begins to pour out of him. And as it does, his body begins to kind of crumple inwards and like desiccate, and almost as if all the moisture just got sucked out of him, and he's just a little husk of a man. As everything is pulled out of him, and it goes into the air, into the cloud that was already forming previously. And as it does, a swirling mass coalesces and begins to thin. And there is a massive head, chittering, laughing, rodent-like, 4 spiraling horns off the side of its head. This creature sticks a massive, elongated limb, talon-like limb, through. Yes! Yes! And that is where we're going to take our first break.